Welcome back, Spinny Spinny. Hey, Sprocketeers. Welcome to another Masterclass. Reminder, we love you, Sprocketeers. We love you. Thanks for being here. Today, we have a Masterclass for you. And before we get to what it is we're going to go into, reminder to those of you just tuning in, Sprocketeer is the community for passionate HubSpot power users, where we champion the HubSpot superadmin. It's a role. It's a whole role that you have to participate in. And in order to do so, there are specific things that you need to learn about and connect with other people on, or just upskill on. And that's what we're here to do. Today, we have a special guest with us on this masterclass. We're going to be looking at Invoice Stack. And in order to do that, we have the founder of Weave and Blend, Harry Bevan. Hey, Harry.
Hey.
So Invoice Stack, before Harry and I talk real quick, Invoice Stack is going to get into some things dealing with invoices. Now, Harry's going to talk to us about how we can think about it properly and how we can think about invoicing inside HubSpot. And that's what Invoice Stack does. Wanted to introduce Harry because he doesn't just have Invoice Stack. He founded Weave and Blend, which is a software company that builds software on top of HubSpot. And Invoice Stack is just one of those pieces of software. Excited to have you here, Harry.
Thanks so much for having me, Grant. Yeah, real big fan of the Sprocketeer community. So yeah, it's great to be able to speak to the community about what we're doing, and hopefully I can help solve some kind of problems.
Awesome. Thanks for building on top of HubSpot. It's so cool to see more and more companies and people seeing that HubSpot is a platform and you can make it better. Definitely have seen that time and time again, and you're going to show us another way today. Before you start sharing screen and we get into the demo and that sort of thing, Invoice Stack. Let's start big picture. What's the market and how do we think about that market that you're going after that's got this problem that Invoice Stack's going to solve for us?
Yeah, sure. So Invoice Stack is really targeted at people who are all in on HubSpot. They're using Sales Hub to create their deals, to kind of track their revenue, and basically to run their business. So if you're using Sales Hub or you're kind of doing RevOps or operations, then like Invoice Stack is really kind of they're the target market.
Okay. So you're native in HubSpot. You're running your business in there, and then you come across what? What is it that you're going to come across that Sprocketeers listening now need to say to themselves, Invoice Stack? I'm going to install Invoice Stack for that.
Yeah, so Invoice Stack is here to kind of solve the pain that comes with invoicing. And invoicing is like not a sexy, cool thing that lots of people talk about all the time, right? But the more you dig into it, and look, we've spoken to loads and loads of businesses out there, see it all the time, that invoicing is the kind of like the boring little bit that happens after your sale. But actually, the more you dig into it, there are loads of pain points with invoicing. And it goes right through to payments. So you have pain points about your sales and your finance teams talking together. So I've seen people building huge, crazy spreadsheets in order to send their invoices over to their finance team. I've seen people who can't keep track of what's been paid or what's overdue inside HubSpot, and that their finance reporting and their HubSpot reporting is completely separate. And often don't match up. So Invoice Stack is basically there to solve those problems. And there are lots of pain points that I think people don't even realize that HubSpot can be part of the solution to solve those problems.
Great overview. It sounds like consolidation and consistency. Definitely having something that can allow the data to be properly represented and to be accurate sounds fantastic. One of the ethos of HubSpot having good data to sit upon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I know who's going to be using HubSpot, what HubSpot users, and then the problem they're coming across, which is from sale to payment and anything in between. Okay. All right. What else might we want to get into? Invoice Stack is a integration with HubSpot, correct?
Yeah.
So which you're going to show us.
Yeah. So we integrate with HubSpot, and we integrate HubSpot with popular accounting platforms. So at the moment, that's Xero and QuickBooks Online. So Xero, super popular outside the US, UK, Australia, Canada, etc. Obviously, QuickBooks is the one if you're based in the US. We're looking at other platforms actively as well to try and integrate the two.
And is there a minimum subscription for HubSpot, or you can be on a free or starter and use Invoice Stack?
You can use any, as long as you got Sales Hub on any tier, you can use this. Some of the features that Invoice Stack unlocks, like the reporting and the workflows, are really valuable if you're obviously on HubSpot Pro. But you can still use the tool no matter what your subscription you have.
Love it. Okay. All right. We've covered the basics, Harry. I'm going to stop sharing screen and why don't you share yours, and you can walk us through what the tool does.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk through an end-to-end kind of process of what happens, what it looks like creating an invoice, what your finance team might see, and then look at all that like amazing kind of data and reporting that you get out of the other side. So let me share my screen. I'll select the right window. So here we have our Sprocketeer demo. So we're starting from a deal, and everything in Invoice Stack is related to a deal. So this is ideal for people who've got deal data going on. So let's have a look at our deal. We've got contact attached here and a company attached.
Okay.
Moving down this sidebar here, we've got a quote. So what happens, obviously, when you're doing quotes inside HubSpot is you get line items added to your deal. Be one-off. They can be monthly as well. I'll show you that in a sec. But yeah, the basics is we've done a quote, client signed it off, the quote's approved.
All right.
And now the next step is for the salesperson to go in and do their admin and create the invoices.
Great. So we got a deal. We have the association of the people and the company, and there's a quote on the deal.
Yeah. So Invoice Stack sits in the sidebar. So what it allows the sales team to do is create the invoices without leaving HubSpot.
Great.
So they don't need a log on for your accounting platform, which makes finance teams nice and happy.
Right.
You don't need a license for your accounting platform either for those teams as well. So that can save you money as well.
Interesting. That means that. So I don't need a QuickBooks Online or a Xero license?
Yeah, if you're a salesperson, you don't. Obviously, your finance team would.
Right.
Licenses.
Understood. So you don't need all the additional seats is what you're getting at. Exactly. Okay, great.
And often we find that finance teams aren't particularly comfortable with those teams having access to the financial data. And sometimes that's why the sales team aren't creating invoices. But we believe the sales people are the right people to create the invoices because they've got all the context about the deal. They understand what's been told. And they want to make sure that shows right when it gets to their client. So next step for Invoice Stack is we sit in the sidebar right here. Most teams will see a single button that just says create invoices. For this demo, I've got more than one account attached to this. So you can connect more than one Xero account, more than one QuickBooks account. You could even have Xero and QuickBooks running at the same time. Not a lot of folks do, but
good to know.
So the app fires up right inside HubSpot. So we're just going to get that loaded in. And what you can see here, so what we're trying to do is this kind of mirrors what a Xero or QuickBooks invoice creation screen looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But what we try to do, and what we try to do with Invoice Stack, is we try and fill in as much data as possible. So really, most times, all the salesperson needs to do is just check it, make sure that everything's kind of filled in. So yeah, we're trying to do that autofill bit where you just checking that last bit, making sure everything's right.
Great. So walk us through. I see contact and currency account. The account will be pulled from your accounting software, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and then whatever tax are there tax? What's the drop down on tax?
Yeah, so the tax rates, I mean, and there's really, for those outside the US, probably have more complex kind of tax situations, or they need to charge VAT or GST, sales tax, on their business to business invoices. So all of this data up here, this is all pulled straight from your accounting system. So if you're on Xero, for example, you will have all your tax rates, you will have all your accounts that your finance team have set up, and it's all mapped. And you can select overall. And I'll show you this in a sec. You can also set it up so that for each product you have, your account and tax rates are selected automatically. So that's what's happening down here, is that we have
I see.
inside Xero or QuickBooks, and you can say, this is the tax rate, and this is the account that I want it logged in my finance system. We take your HubSpot account, HubSpot products, we match it up with your Xero products, and we link those together. So
fantastic. So by line item, you can define the account and the tax.
Yeah. So some things are taxable, some things aren't. We know that because we're linking it to your accounting system.
That's a big deal. Instead of having to select one and having to make the invoice or invoicing multiple times because you only have the ability to tax one way, you've given it to us by line item. Fantastic.
Exactly. And it saves the headache for sales teams. The sales teams don't know what's taxable, what's not. Like, it just fills it out for them, basically. So some of the other things on here, so we have contacts. And if you don't have a contact already, say it's a new client, obviously we match it to whatever's inside your accounting platform. Otherwise, you can add a new contact. When you hit save, that will create the contact inside your finance system. But obviously we fill in all the data that you already have on HubSpot about that contact. So you already know their name, their email address. So we fill that out for you, but you can change it. So if that's going to like a finance contact instead of your main contact, you can change that before it gets sent over.
And this is the contact at your company, correct? Or is this their
this is
company?
The contact at your client's business who you are sending in.
So then does it also create a contact in HubSpot?
No, so your contact is already inside HubSpot. So we just create that link between the invoice and the client.
So if I'm creating an invoice and I have a contact in HubSpot, it'll auto-populate here, correct?
Yeah.
If I'm creating an invoice and there isn't a contact, can I create one here or no?
You can't create a HubSpot contact through this screen.
Received.
But if you have it already in HubSpot, it helps you move that contact from HubSpot over to your accounting platform.
Understood. So make sure you have maybe that contact added before so that when you do create the invoice, it'll pull. And like you said, it'll make the new one on Invoice Stack.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So let's just select that one up again. And then we've got different things. So we've got like currency. So we support any currency that your accounting platform has as well. And obviously we'll select the right one based on what your HubSpot deal is. So this is in US dollars, but my demo, I've got pounds, got Australian dollars, euro, etc. And we also support some of the more advanced kind of fields that you see in QuickBooks and Xero. So they've got custom fields like tracking codes. The QuickBooks invoices have things like service dates and custom fields that you can enter. And we support all of those. And you can pre-fill those as well with information on your HubSpot deal. So if you have a purchase order number field in QuickBooks, we can fill that in automatically if you already have that data on your HubSpot deal. So again, really trying to just fill out as much as possible.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't need to touch a thing.
Okay, so I'm seeing an autofill, save draft, and sync to zero. What do I need to know and do with these buttons?
Yeah. So
because when you pulled this up, there was already data there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do autofill automatically if we have the data. But if you want to refill it or you've made a mistake, then you can hit that button, do it again.
Okay.
You can save it. So if you don't want to send it to your accounting platform straight away, you can save your progress, and sync to zero lets you send it straight away. This little green dot tells you whether the amount that you're invoicing matches what's in your HubSpot deal. So oftentimes people will have more than one invoice. So you might have 2-3 invoices for staged payment. So if you're an agency, you might be billing based on the kind of phase of work. If you are, some businesses charge deposits. You can create both those invoices from the same screen. So you could just add another invoice. You can even drag these line items, drag and drop
between invoices.
Invoices.
Nice.
You can even create monthly invoices as well. So this is something that it's in beta at the moment, but we will be launching it really soon. You can create repeating invoices inside QuickBooks and Xero. So that's great if you have like subscriptions. So say you have like a one-off payment, upfront payment, and then you have a subscription. Again, we will pre-fill that all from your HubSpot deal. And so you can create all of those invoices that's just on one screen on one page.
Okay, Harry. So let me see if I got this. So I can make my invoice and pre-fill it from HubSpot, and I can make it recurring. I can create multiple invoices, 3, 4, or 5 invoices, what have you, all from the same screen. I'm still in HubSpot at this point.
Yeah.
When I sync to Xero, let's say I have the number that I like and I have the invoices or the recurring timing. When I sync to Xero or QuickBooks, is that also sending that invoice to my customer?
So there's different options for doing that. So we have a couple of options depending on how your finance team want it set up. So the kind of first option we have is for larger businesses. Say you have like a dedicated finance team. Often they want the invoices to get sent over as draft so they can check it and approve it before it goes out or gets sent. So Xero has a draft status. QuickBooks doesn't, but you can stop it from being sent automatically. Or for smaller teams, what you can do is you can actually send straight from HubSpot. So if you're a smaller team, once you send over invoices authorized in Xero, for example, you'll see an extra button here that says send to your customer. And that will use your template that you've got set up inside your accounting platform. It will send it just in exactly the same way that it gets sent as if you were in that platform. And obviously you can check it.
Great. So over in your accounting platform, you have some settings that you as a team, those of you listening, need to set up in the way you want it to be sent or the process you want to use so that when you do send it over and sync it, it's following your process.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's the best thing about Invoice Stack is it maps onto the existing process you've got. So if you've got a process for getting your invoices out there and getting your invoices paid and your finance team are happy with that, you don't need to change anything. All we're doing is just changing that initial bit of getting the data into the invoicing platform right at the beginning.
Great. All right. So, Harry, what else do we need to see on this screen? Because right now I'm thinking, all right, I sync to Xero. When I'm back on the deal record, what am I seeing there? What updates do I see as invoices come due, are overdue, or more information or changes need to be made? What else do I need to see here before I'm checking my deal record?
Yeah,
Anything?
Well, let me look. I think here if we checked our invoices, we're happy with them. I think what we'll do is we'll sync them we'll use Xero for this demo, but it's exactly the same process for QuickBooks. And then I'll show you what that shows up inside Xero, and then we can generate a
Great.
payment and see what happens. So let's do that. So my invoices have been synced, and we can flip over. So this is Xero. So we can see we've got our invoice here, which is our Sprocketeer demo. It's got all the data filled out. So for your finance team, all they will see is they will see draft invoices, right? And they check, make sure everything's correct. They've even got a button here that takes them back to HubSpot. So if they need more context, that takes them back to HubSpot. And
right to the deal that this is a part of.
Back to the deal record. You can even pass notes through between those teams. And if they make changes here, then those changes are all synced back to HubSpot. So we're using the accounting platform as the source of truth. Finance teams love this bit of it. Whatever they say,
I bet they do.
And that's like super important for us. So if you're an ops person trying to implement something like this, thinking, hey, the finance team will never go for it, it's these things that will kind of sway them, basically.
Understood.
So look, let's put in, let's approve this, but also it's worth saying as well, like Xero and QuickBooks have some like really cool payment options as well. So you can actually have like online payments through these invoices as well when they get sent out. So oftentimes, like, so QuickBooks has got like, PayPal, Stripe. Xero has PayPal, Stripe. It's got Go Cardless for the monthly subscriptions. So again, if you're using payments, all of that can just use your existing accounting platform. So that's something to consider. Obviously, we've heard loads about HubSpot payments. It's available in the US only. If you're not inside the US, and so you can't use HubSpot payments, but you want the power of that, or you want to do that but keep your same accounting flow, then Invoice Stack can help make that happen, and it can sync some of that data back into your deals.
Great point. So since we're using your accounting software, you may have already added the payment link or the payment processor to your accounting software. So since we're syncing from HubSpot to your accounting software, that payment can be over there. And again, like you said, Harry, your existing process can just run.
Yeah.
You're just making it easier to do.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
I'll show you what our deal looks like now. So let me hit that.
Yeah, let's look at that. For those of you listening, the payments outside of the US, it sounds like Harry's got another solution in order for you to recognize and have them. Well done. We're asked constantly, and people are commenting, what about outside the US? And there's always that disclaimer from HubSpotters too of still just in the US. All right, understood. Yeah. Keep going, Harry.
Yeah, no, well, sure. Okay, so what we've done is we've generated a payment. Obviously, a couple of things have changed on our deal. So first, if we've got a timeline event, say that the invoice has been paid. We can see in Invoice Stack down the side by here, we have the invoice is now marked as paid. But the cool stuff happens over here. So we have our invoicing properties, and I put these into a nice bit here, some of the key ones, but we have, I think it's 17 different properties that we update on your HubSpot deal.
Okay.
Live anytime any activity happens with your invoices that are linked to this deal. So we have things like invoice status. So whether they're synced, whether they're paid, whether they're all paid. We have the amount that's been invoiced. And if you are invoicing in different currencies, we can even sync back the currency conversion rate that your accounting platform adds. So great.
If you have, say that again, I interrupted you.
So it's great if you're using multi-currency. So say you're a UK company, you're in pounds, and you're invoicing in dollars, you want to know what that exchange rate that Xero is using. So we sync that back, and you can get the base currency. So if you're multi-currency, we've got a solution for that as well. It means your reporting can really reflect what is inside your accounting platform.
On that number, Harry, let me ask you this. Is that number the overall? So if I've made 5 invoices, is that the total? Or is this the last paid or
This is the total. So
received?
we like kind of built from the ground up to be able to support multiple invoices for a single deal.
Great.
So all of these options kind of support that as well. So we have a next invoice date, next invoice due date, number of invoices, number paid, and whether it's overdue or not. And we've got a ton of other stuff as well. So we've got things like the invoice numbers, like the ID of the contact inside your accounting platform if you want to match up that data externally. And it's all updated live. So as soon as that invoice goes overdue, that property changes. If your invoice is changed by the finance team, then again, it gets
right. Finance is going to live over in their accounting software. Mm-hmm. And so you want visibility over there. You want to be able to see and get those updates. I'm thinking through that, then that they will show up here. Regardless, even if you fire off an email or you send them a message or you're on the phone with them, you're able to at least pull up in HubSpot the deal record, and you can see those changes. Those of you listening as admins, I know I'm already thinking I want a notification that it's been updated. I want a notification when any of the invoice properties have changed. And so that would be a separate admin step. Though what you've done for us, Harry, is allowed us to have that change to now take action on it, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I speak to loads of teams who need to do things like they have to wait for an invoice to be paid before they do the work. Or once the invoice has been paid, it moves over to a different team, or they need to stop or change activity if things go overdue. And what this allows you to do is to do all of that because you have these properties. So
that's a great point, Harry.
Yeah.
It might change over from sales now to an AE because it's paid, and it might then the owner might now be the delivery team, whatever you're selling. If it's a service, it's now going to a whole team that's going to actually do something. So thank you, fire off the thank you email. Congratulations. Here's your next step. Introduce the new person and maybe send some tasks to some people to follow up and get set up. Love that. Love that. Those of you admins listening, you now have a property of that's syncing back and forth with your accounting software that you can trigger all these actions from. Love that.
Yeah. I've got some examples here actually. Like here's one I made earlier. Like invoice status is paid, then you can send a notification using just standard workflows. Say it's been paid to the deal owner. Rotate that record. But anything that HubSpot workflows can do, you can do with this. You just use those properties, they're native HubSpot properties. You can use them as triggers. It could be as simple as just moving the deal stage. That's like a super simple one that most people do. We've actually got that built straight into the app. You can do it when you set up the app. But this lets you go like super advanced. You can do branching logic, all kinds of things as well.
That makes sense.
And then because these are properties, you can do reports as well. So here's a report. If you want a dashboard of what deals have been invoiced and what ones haven't, what ones have got overdue or not, then you can see all that inside the dashboard. A real popular one is this one. So you can track how many deals have closed but don't have invoices on them. So this is like, who has forgotten their admin? Which of the sales teams haven't done that?
Right.
And you can compare these figures of like how much has been invoiced versus what you're saying in HubSpot as well. So you can say the number of invoices changes, you can get it to automatically update the deal total and things like that.
Of course. You could do invoice create date. How long did the deal stay in the creation stage before you even set an invoice, let alone when it was paid? How long did they take to pay? How long overdue are they? What's the average overdue? How many are outstanding, of course?
Yeah.
This
So
is
it's really that.
fantastic.
Thanks. It's really that visibility. So it gives the sales and ops team great visibility about invoices. But then for the finance team, it gives them visibility because it gives them visibility about where the invoices come from and why
Right.
you're creating that invoice, because they've got that link back to the HubSpot deal all the time. So they know that their data is correct.
And Harry, it would bring confidence to those teams together rather than my software versus your software. It's more we're having the same conversation about the same data now. And so we can bring our perspectives of whatever we want to say to the conversation because we're not arguing about the data itself.
Yeah. And what we're trying to do here is remove some of the admin, because like a lot of businesses have like admin overhead of filling out spreadsheets, building reports about invoices,
Yeah.
sending, emailing sometimes finance teams to say, can you send this invoice to the person?
Yes.
If you're listening to that and you guys are building a spreadsheet, come to our Invoice Stack, because we can help you with that, and we can make a better way.
Whoever was just triggered by
Yeah,
Harry saying emailing invoices and spreadsheets management for your invoices.
don't
Go
do
over
it.
to
Don't do it.
InvoiceStack.co and download, install Invoice Stack. You won't be triggered any longer. And so often the conversation is the conversation twice a month or at each month or quarterly, whatever you're doing that meeting. Really, like you're saying, Harry, you're surfacing all of this admin that just didn't get done. And so now you're just arguing about who should do the admin, which admin does it actually reside with, what do we actually need to do, what data point is wrong that's now showing up in the report. That is all done.
Yeah.
So those meetings can be much more productive about what you want to happen. How long do you want the invoice to be outstanding before you do something about it? How long do you want to have a deal created before the invoice is created? The business process, not the admin, because Invoice Stack will just do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Invoice Stack. This is great. So you have the setup from the deal. You have the workflow where you can trigger actions, and then you have the reporting once all of that's working for you.
That's right.
Harry, this has been great, and you've even connected over to the accounting software. What other pieces do we need to know? I know you said before we got on that you can go to invoicestack.co to either book a demo if you want to walk through with Harry, or you can straight away install and start playing around with it.
Yeah, the app is completely self-service. So, and we've got we've got a kind of flow that kind of will take you through step by step, connecting HubSpot, connecting your accounting platform, or like a test version if you just want to try it. We'll walk you through that, so you can do everything through that, or you can book a demo as well. I also wanted to do a bit of a shout out to any HubSpot partners as well. So we've got a partner program that we've just launched. So we're looking for HubSpot partners, solutions partners. If you're implementing things for your clients, reach out to us. We'll see whether we can kind of help solve some of these challenges for your clients as well. So do get in touch if that's something that's of interest to you as well.
Great. So if you're a admin at a company, and this is your responsibility to make it clean like Harry is showing you, go to invoicestack.co and install, and you can even do the test demo. What I'm hearing you say, Harry, though, also is those of you listening who are at agency or you're a partner, HubSpot partner, reach out to Harry, and there's a program to help you as well implement these into all the portals of your partners.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Let's see. So Weave and Blend. I know this isn't demo related. Weave and Blend, we're going to see more from you, Harry, I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Invoice Stack is just one. Do you have a couple more that you can?
I do. You know what? Let me just get it up on the screen. So this is our this is our whole thing. So we make fantastic apps for HubSpot. What we're trying to do is basically kind of raise the game. We love HubSpot as a platform. I'm a HubSpot super fan, completely changed my life. So what I want to do is make sure that the kind of apps on HubSpot are great quality. They've got fantastic support. They're easy to set up, easy to use, and they kind of really solve some real problems for clients. So we've got InvoiceStack, we've got PurposeStack, which I hope to be talking about soon, which helps you fund climate action when you close HubSpot deals. So that launched as part of the App Accelerator program that HubSpot recently ran.
Awesome.
For those who are in the UK, we have got Company Lookup, which ties straight into the UK's Companies House, which keeps like kind of record of all your business data for individual clients and helps you link that up as well. So there are 3 at the moment, but yeah, we've got more in the works. If you've got a great idea, if you've got an idea for an app and you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I've got an idea for an app. Come talk to me. We'll see what we can do.
Fantastic. All right, Sprocketeers, that's it for Harry and the Invoice Stack Masterclass. We talk all things HubSpot in Discord. Head to Sprocketeer.Community and you can join the Discord there. We're on LinkedIn and YouTube. You're probably watching this via LinkedIn or YouTube at this moment. Harry, Weave and Blend, and Invoice Stack can be found at weaveandblend.com, Invoice Stack at invoicestack.co. You can also find Invoice Stack in the HubSpot Marketplace, though you don't have to do it there. You can go straight to the website, but it is also available straight away in the Marketplace. Harry, thanks so much for walking us through Invoice Stack. Beyond that, thanks for creating such a cool app that really helps us get the admin out of the way of invoicing on the accounting end. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure showing it to you. And yeah, like I say, huge fan of the Sprocketeer community. So I hang out as well on the Discord channel and things like that. So if you want to come find me, ask questions about it, or you have ideas, then I'd love to hear from you as well. I'm Weave on the Discord community.
Look up Harry. His username is Weave on Discord, and you can talk all things Invoice Stack. Or you can just ask him about his beautiful artwork that he has all around his house.
Typography samples from The Guardian, which is a beautifully designed newspaper here in the UK.
It's just fitting that we went over invoices and accounting and you have a number piece.
That wasn't intentional. No one's mentioned that before.
All right, Sprocketeers. All right, Harry. Take care. Till next time. Spinny, spinny.